two, two. Two.
worried about you people that are watching. Your mother-in-law sent a link to lots of people.
Okay.
I just turned on the ambient mic to allow them to hear it. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to Temple Beth Israel. On behalf of Jeremy and Melyssa, I want to welcome you on this beautiful Sunday morning. Those of you that are in seats, you're very well trained, but we're actually all going to be up on the bimmer. So if I could invite those of you at the back of the room to come up, we're going to be filling this space and welcoming a child into family and community. So there are a couple of seats, and I will allow those that feel the need to be in them. Some people have legitimate excuses. Reasons, it's not an excuse, it's a blessing. But if I could ask you to come forward. Again, I'm happy for people to have seats, but what we would prefer is if you joined us up on the bimmer and we filled this space. Just stand. All good. I see a mother, and I see a father at the back of the room. So again, I want to reiterate, welcome. It's so lovely to see family and friends gathered in celebration, in Simcha. And this really is a wonderful celebration for you two and for your entire family as we welcome your daughter into family, into community, into covenant. And this morning we also formally give her a name. It is unusual for us to do a ceremony like this on the bimah. Sometimes it takes place in the home. Often it takes place in the synagogue in one of our communal halls, and trust me, you'll be getting into one of them in a little while, in a few moments' time, to celebrate the arrival of this new child. But unusual on the bimah, and the reason we're doing that is because I'm going to look up and look straight into that camera that's up there hanging from the ceiling, and welcome those of you who couldn't physically be in the room with us, those of you that are joining us through the live streaming of our services and simchas here at TBI, through TBI TV, those of you in Perth, those of you that have got up very early in South Africa, or who are choosing to say you got up very early and watching this on demand a little later. We promise we won't call you out. We'll send you a printout of who watched it live and who watched it. But we won't tell any of you. But as I said, welcome to this ceremony and celebration. There are three parts to this. There is the formal welcoming of our guest of honor into this family circle. Then a covenant ritual, and you'll see to my left a series of candlesticks, and we'll explain a little bit more of them and the covenant ritual that you guys have chosen to welcome your daughter into community. And then the former presentation, gifting of her of her Hebrew name. But we begin with welcome. And so in a few moments' time, our guest of honor is going to be carried into this space by her uncle. Hopefully he's listening, and at this point he's picking her up out of the pram that she's currently sitting in, placing her on his shoulder. That's as big as a cue as I could possibly give him. And he's going to be bringing her into this room as I offer the traditional words of welcome, which are Brucha Haba'ah B'Shem Adonai, blessed is she who comes into this space, into this place, in the name of God. And as she makes her way, I think, through that door in just a moment or two, what I've asked Robert to do is to make sure that he takes the scenic route, that he brings her around to as many of you as possible, and gives you an opportunity to greet her and to say hi. And don't panic, he'll get there. Sorry, that wasn't panic, that was just years of experience. So your role as our guest of honor makes her way into this space is to greet her. You can do that with the traditional words of welcome that our people have passed on from generation to generation, which is Brucha Haba'ah, welcome to you. Or you can just say hi. You can say hello, you can introduce yourself. You can tell her how delightful she looks in the gorgeous outfit that she's wearing. She will remember as we reiterate the words, Brucha Haba'ah B'Shem Adonai, blessed is she who comes into this place and into this space in the name of God. Lots of people. Lots of people. Make sure you all say hello. We're not in a hurry. He's going to make sure that every single person in the room gets a chance to. Every single person in the room gets a chance to greet her. And as she's making her way through the room and getting all these hi and these hellos and these you look awesome, welcome. I want to take a moment, and I need you to step back for a second, Jeremy, to declare that at least for the next few moments, this chair covered by talit is going to take the role and the place of the chair of Eliyahu the prophet, Elijah the prophet. And if we can ask Ben to explain to us why we are using Elijah's chair.
This is your chair, Elijah, who returns to children the heart of a parent, and to parents the heart of a child. This is your chair, Elijah. Send your guardian powers to protect this child as she strives throughout life to keep the covenant into which we are welcoming her today. This is your chair, Elijah. Help all of us spread the message that the time is coming for a new beginning, and that the time is right for the arrival of a newborn world of joy.
And that is certainly what we have welcomed, a newborn child of joy. And I'm going to invite this young lady's grandmother to have a seat in that chair.
Hey, what about us? I'm trying to get it.
Cousins, they're all cousins.
Enjoying yourself.
And so as her uncle, have we got everyone? As her uncle, still trying to get more people. I was trying to get him to turn and go the other way. But, no, I think just over to your mum now. And placed in this chair. We use Elijah's chair and call Elijah's presence to this because, as Ben explained, Elijah, according to our tradition, the prophet Elijah is the spirit, the force that will herald all that is good in the world and bring about a better time for all humanity. And we hope that this young lady, through her life, only knows good. And so having a connection with Elijah and Elijah's spirit from the first moment is a wonderful thing. And so we continue this formal welcome with a reading, a blessing of welcome from her parents.
O God and God of our ancestors, we thank you for this precious gift of a new life and for the blessing of parenthood, which allows us to share in the miracle of creation. Endow us with the wisdom and understanding, strength and patience that we may rear our child with care and affection. Strengthen us to raise her in the path of the Torah. Grant our daughter length of days and vigour of body and mind. May her life be one of happiness, goodness and wisdom. May she be a shining light and give help to all who know her.
Amen. And to that we ask John to continue with a blessing on behalf of the grandparents.
We echo the prayers of our children. May the happiness which emanates from them today forever fill their home and their family. May we help them to care for and nurture this child and continue to shower upon them the love and affection we first felt for them when they entered this world. We thank you, O God, for the miracle of life and for the length of our days and for enabling us to reach this day.
Those last words, the blessing of Shechianu, that say, Shechianu v'kirmanu v'higianu lazman hazeh, how blessed we are to arrive at these days. And so having welcomed this bright-eyed young lady into this space, into this place, into this family, and into this community, we transition into our covenant ritual. And there are many covenant rituals associated with welcoming into communities. For boys in Jewish tradition, it's far simpler. But for girls, there's a whole raft of new traditions that are being created and recreated, imagined and reimagined. One of them being this ceremony of Ner Neshamot, or soul candles, which marks a child's entry into the covenant. These candles both represent the light that she is bringing into the world and into this family, and they also represent the movement of light from generation to generation, recognizing that she is part of a Shoshelet HaKabbalah, a chain of tradition. This candle represents, the candle that I'm holding represents the new light that has entered the world with the birth of this new soul. Baruch Atah Adonai Koret Habrit. God remembers the covenant, the world commanded to 1,000 generations. Zachol olam brito davetz tziva al-elef ador. Bless the Eternal One who establishes the covenant. And so I'm going to ask if her parents, mum or dad, could take back your daughter, because we're going to need Helene and Marcel to come forward first. And Helene, if you could first light these candles. And then I'll take that back. Could you just read that for us?
Blessed are you, source of our life, the light you have brought into our lives. May this child come to know you and study your ways, bringing honor to those that have come before her.
And as we celebrate the coming together and the extension of light, if you could take this candle, take some of this light and put it onto the candles from your home.
May our granddaughter be blessed always with your divine presence so that she can reflect divine light wherever she goes.
And then if I could ask the two of you to stand with your daughter. And Jeremy, if you first could take some light from your parents' home, and add it to the candles that sit in your home. No, just the one. No, just the one. You heard your wife. Leave something for her to do. No, you can just take some light from there because you're going to need to light that one anyway. Yeah. It's all right. Okay. The reading of these.
Can you take that?
There is new light in our hearts and in our home. These candles celebrate the birth of our child. Out of the creative darkness of the womb, she has come. These candles celebrate her emergence into light. Child of light, you know not yet the love and the joy overflowing from our hearts. Just as these candles give light to all who behold them, so may we, by our lives, give light to all who behold us. As their brightness reminds us of the generations of Israel who have kindled light, so may we in our own day be among those who kindle light.
Take that. And light candles on behalf of your daughter. She's not quite ready to do it for herself. And then just as she's needed her mother's assistance to light her candles, she's going to need all of our assistance to say a blessing. It's a blessing that is certainly at the core of our tradition, a blessing offered in translation by her grandfather already this morning. And it's a blessing which allows us to celebrate our arrival, but particularly her arrival at this moment. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, she'achianu v'kiyamanu v'higiyanu lazman hazeh. We praise you, Adonai, our God, ruler of the universe, who has given us life, who has sustained us, and who has brought us to this joyous moment. And so, surrounded by this light, we are able to move on into the third section, the third and final section of this brief but beautiful ceremony of welcome. I'm going to ask you to kindly take your daughter back for a moment or two from her grandmother. And if you could come and slide in behind us. Come on. And so it is with a great pleasure that I offer these words of tradition. And a certificate, because everyone needs a certificate. You should frame it and put it on a wall. And get a bigger wall because she's going to have lots more. Eloheinu v'Elahei avotenu v'Imateinu, our God of our mothers and fathers, kayam et hayalda hazot laviu limo, sustain this child through her parents' loving care. V'ikra shma b'Yisrael, Sarah bat Ariella, v'Yirmiyahu Shimon Eliyahu. Let it be known amongst the people of Israel as Sarah bat Ariella v'Yirmiyahu Shimon Eliyahu, Maya Alexis Rotstein. May her name be a source of joy to her and inspire her to serve our people and all humankind. May her parents rejoice in her growth of body and soul. As they have brought her into the covenant, so may they, with wisdom and patience and sleep and cooperation, lead her to the study of Torah, to the blessing of family, and to the practice of goodness. And let us say, Amen.
Amen.
And so I do have, as was noticed, both a certificate and a gift. The certificate says that in accordance with Jewish tradition, that your daughter came here onto this place and was given the name, and on the name that you have chosen to give her, and we'll say a few words about in a moment. But on the foot of the certificate is perhaps her first lesson of Torah, for it says that the crown of a good name is the highest crown of them all. There are many crowns in Judaism, the crown of priesthood, the crown of royalty, but the crown of a good name, the crown that you give yourself, is the most important one of all, and we hope that she continues to grow into that crown and that it always sits upon her head comfortably and with great meaning. And also for you, because I'm sure you don't have enough stuff yet, a Torah! As we say, welcome to tradition. Do you want to say a word or two about your choice?
Yep.
There's a word or two he prepared earlier as he pulled out. There was a day when parents used to pull out a piece of paper. Now all I see is phones.
It's convenient. Okay, so her Hebrew name is Sarah. So that's named after Melyssa's paternal grandmother. Her middle name, Alexis, derives from my paternal grandfather, Alec. Some people are unsure how to pronounce her first name. Is it Maya or is it Maya? A few of you got it wrong earlier, but I usually say it's pretty easy. It's like the condiment mayonnaise. So her name's only 4 letters long, but there's a bit of meaning packed into it for us. The my part is in honour of Melyssa's late father, Michael. Her name is Aramaic for water, and the ocean in particular is something Melyssa feels a spiritual connection with, and we hope to instill that in Maya as well. Maya, can you hear me? Can you hear me? I want to read her a little bedtime story that about her name from Mummy and Daddy. So you know water doesn't restrict itself to one form. It adapts itself to the situation at hand, freezing and thawing, boiling and condensing, all the while sustaining life. You put water in a cup and it becomes a cup. You put water in a bottle and it becomes the bottle. You put water in a teapot, Maya, and what does it become? It becomes a little teapot, doesn't it? Now water can flow like a river or it can crash like a wave. Be like water, our daughter. Someone once said Judaism is the greatest self-help program ever created, and I think you can't argue with 4,000 years of history. It's created a close-knit community and thriving community, and we hope to bring Maya up in that way as well. So thank you to Gersh as well for welcoming us to the community. We also have a special person here, a young person here. my brother Ben and his wife Z's young son Alec. You'll see him wandering around. And they've recently come back to Melbourne after years away in Canberra. So we welcome them back and look forward to many years of happiness ahead together as a family. I wanted to thank Mum for all the effort that goes into organising this event. All we had to do is basically just turn up here and everything else was taken care of, and we were just able to focus on caring for Maya. And Dad also had a very important role. He was responsible for putting in the MCC application before Maya even got her birth certificate. So thank you very much for that. And many of you know as well that rain, hail or shine, Melyssa's mum Marcel comes to our house at 7:15 in the morning, 5 days a week, to do the granny shift. And yeah, she's the only person I know who's happy getting paid entirely in cuddles and chocolate. That's true, isn't it? Yeah. So we're so thrilled to be sharing this celebration with you all. We thank you all for coming. We really, really appreciate all the support, all the well wishes we've received over the last 6 weeks. And yeah, I just want you guys to enjoy the food, drink up, and enjoy the rest of the day. And back to Gersh.
Before we can get to enjoying the food and the rest of the day, there are just four last little blessings. The first requires you to pick up that cup, because our tradition has always taught that we can't sanctify time, we can't make time special, but moments like this we want to hold on to, we want to remember, and so we often associate them with the recitation of the blessing of Kiddush over wine, so that we can taste the wine, remember the sweetness, the smell, and be reminded of the occasion. So I hold that cup up high, because this is a big celebration. Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam borei pri hagafen.
Amen.
Have a sip. Thanks. And you have a sip. And then if you could dip your finger into that cup and dip that into your daughter's mouth so she can remember this occasion too.
She's sucking.
Well, it's not as good as the milk, but... And then the last thing I will do is I'll step back here and open this up. You can put that cup down. And we'll step back into a little bit more space, because as we spoke of, don't worry, you're allowed to actually have your backs to Torah right now. Because we spoke about one of the great opportunities of coming to be in the sanctuary rather than any of the other spaces we could have been, so we could share with us, our family and friends, was so that we could have this moment and conclude our celebration and welcome today with the oldest blessing in our tradition. In fact, it's a blessing that we read about in this week's Torah portion. It's a blessing that was first offered by Aaron to his sons, and then from the priests to people, and in more recent generations from parents to children. It began its existence as Birkat Kohanim, as the priestly blessing, and has now become Birkat Mishpacha, the family blessing. So you're holding on to your daughter tight, but I need to borrow her, please. Simply to allow the two of you, as I slip that down there, to step around and place your hands upon her head, as we offer her this threefold blessing, a blessing as old as our people. Yevarechecha Adonai v'yishmerecha. May God bless you and keep you. Ya Adonai panav elecha v'yichunecha. May Adonai show favor upon you and be gracious to you. Yasa Adonai panav elecha v'yasem lecha shalom. And may Adonai always show kindness to you and blessing to you. And may you always know the sense of peace and contentment that you feel right now. And to that, we not only say Amen, but we say Ken Yehi Ratzon, may it be God's will. Welcome to this family, to this covenant, to this tradition, and to this incredible village who is going to watch you grow. Amen, amen, and amen. And while I cannot see the scrumptious spread that has been put on for you, I can smell it and anticipate it, so I don't feel I'm going to overstretch when I say Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam hamotzi lechem min haaretz. We say amen to that, and I invite you to head out door 2 and take a sharp left as we celebrate this young lady.
You guys, well done. I'm going to do that correctly. Thank you. Your kids, you're going to do it to your kids now. Arabic before. Don't forget. I'll remind you because I'll be doing it. Hey, grandmother.